Okay, so just to get to show how crazy all that helicopter activity was, this was looking at documented rabies studies. It says results from 1960 to 2018, a total of 125 human rabies cases were reported in the United States. So when you do the math, let's just say we're 300 million people is our population. So it's 4.1666 tenth to the 5th percent. That is the number of the chance of getting rabies right there. All that helicopter activity. So just a interesting activity going on here in Alabama. I just find this strange. You know, we're paying for all this, remember? I saw some flying going on in Chapel Hill too. Words like rigor, weird, which weird is wired, like the 69 too. They use that all the time. Morph. Po' boy. It got flying near Bethlehem. So do you think that if you were living under all this activity, that this wouldn't be a source of great agitation and irritation, and who knows what else they're doing or have in these helicopters? I mean, who knows? Are they just flying, or what else is going on? Now that's a fun one. So why would they label and name these helicopters after that? Hated. So hated is U.S. Army. U.S. Army. Let me just give you an example. Okay, so this is just one helicopter flying over that I can hear coming from a long ways away. That's just one. Imagine if you had all those kind of helicopters flying overhead. That would be very irritating. So this is all U.S. Army today, it appears. Every single one. Lot of activity, I think. So Weird 99 is just flying near Dreamer's Child Development Center. And here's Weird flying over a neighborhood at 375 feet. Now they're at an airfield here, so that's fair. Anyhow, I just think it's interesting. Near Bellwood, Hartford. They've done this before. So this says Air Force Tech Connect Events Military Flight Training USA Conference confirmed for Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023. This is interesting. Oral rabies vaccine distribution to begin this week, 23 hours ago, although ADPH, I don't know what that is, warned that residents may see low-flying aircraft or helicopters in the vaccination area. Food stamp eligibility is, I'll open this up and go look at this. This is weird. And of course your channel 19, oral rabies. Okay, so here's what they're saying. Oral rabies vaccine distribution to begin this week. So somehow they're going to connect this with the helicopter flights. This was posted last night or yesterday, October 2nd. Okay, look at this. The Alabama Department of Public Health, that's ADPH. ADPH at 73. First on the list is Angel. Angel just happens to also have the 39 as in 93, flip it around, that's Thelema as in Aleister Crowley's Do It Thou Willst. It's also IT at 174 and 29. It's also AI, DNA, that to me would be your key, would be that one. AI, DNA. And calm as in the storm, before the storm. Okay, so sorry, let me continue. So ADPH said residents in several northeast and north central counties of the state should expect to see rabies vaccine packets show up in yards and wooded areas beginning this week. They're basically dropping finger quotes, medication all over the place in your yard. ADPH said the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, is once again distributing oral rabies vaccine, ORV, this month. So I'm looking at the oral rabies vaccine. That's ORV, just for fun. ORV is 330 and 55, and the Jewish gematria is 830, which is also equivalent to the King James Bible. I am the second coming of Christ, chosen by Satan. 8:30 is also good time, or goodbye, time to die. Also vital in supply. And quickly, 330 and 55 is also Satan. So isn't that the strangest thing? So they are literally dropping medication from helicopters. Normally, don't you need to have some kind of prescription or something? But anyhow, they're just dropping it in your yard. It says vaccine packets to show up in your yards. The effort is scheduled from October 3rd through the 10th. And I'm telling you, my video I did last night looking at October 10th, remember the 543 at Build Back Better and Rocky and Cornerstone, which is what you'd find at the Mecca, at the Kaaba, that black box. It's also Zambia. That just sort of reminds me of the word zombie, kind of like AI zombie. And the X-Files at 8:70, 145. It's also Fire from Heaven. So all these helicopters flying around Alabama right now are literally dropping packets of oral rabies vaccines. What are in those? So since when does the State Department of Agriculture, USDA, disperse supposed medication? Is that their job? The USDA disperses drugs? Okay, so big heads up there to you suburban communities such as Albertville. Arab, now remember my video last night and the couple days before that, the word Arab came up all the time. Remember, I told you that. Remember this word that I got from that Google thing last night, DAL-E, in my video that says, what is Google really telling us? And that ended up being Allah in Arabic, which is also the WEF at 34. It's the same crazy. So all these people, what, like, I'm just thinking, all these, it looked like they were packing and dropping and dispersing these huge things of meat, is what it looked like. Okay, so then after Arab, you've got Flemington Heights and Huntsville and Fort Payne. So you got Payne, you've got Hunts, you've got Arabs. So then immediately following that, from October 10th to the 21st, the focus of the distribution will shift to the rural areas such as Jackson, DeKalb, Madison, and Morgan counties. This current action is a continuation of a program that normally includes 16 states with the intent to reduce raccoon rabies and the associated public health risk from rabies exposures. Okay, here's one Center for Disease Control, human rabies, Alabama, Tennessee, and Texas. The patient died on November 27th, although the serum and CSF specimens were negative for evidence of rabies. A postmortem skin biopsy specimen obtained November, whatever. They're going to try to push it, even though it was negative. So they've been doing this for a while, because here's another story. Rabies on the move in Alabama. This is June 11th. Is that 6/11 in 2015? A rabid fox was found in Prattville several years ago, which led to aerial application of rabies vaccine from 2011 to 2014. So if they were dropping all this stuff way back then even, and interesting how, was it T-Mobile in pink jumps up as the ad. So here's your rabies on the move. Here it's on the move. You can't see it, but it's moving to get you. Published 2:21 p.m. June 11th, 2015. Okay, so here you go. This was published June 11th, 2015. The last confirmed case of human rabies in Alabama was recorded in 1994. And D. Jones wants to keep it that way. Sadly, that person died from the virus, but I can bet you $100. I'll bet anyone $100 if you can show me the virus that that is what they call rabies, and you show that it is a contagion, I'll give you $100. So rabies in peoples and pets is 100% preventable, but this is the thing. They haven't even had a confirmed case since 1994. That's 29 years ago. And they're still going to be dropping it all over you, all in your property, on your land, so your animals can eat it or whatever. Your children might grab a hold of it. Just dropping medication, vaccines from the air on top of you and your property. That's right. Po' boy there is flying over Troy. So according to ADPH, in urban areas, vaccine packets are distributed by hand from trucks alongside the tree lines in wooded areas. Helicopters are also used to drop baits in more heavily wooded areas that are more difficult to access. So when it rains and all this stuff gets just goes into the watershed or whatever, great. The health department said in rural areas, airplanes will be used. Altogether, ADPH warned that residents may see low-flying aircraft or helicopters in the vaccination area. You guys are screwed. What's going on is really screwed. And I'll show you one more thing. As these guys hover overhead, dropping vaccines on your land, on your property. Let me just finish this article. The department said, let's see, which department? The United States Department of Agriculture. They said that animal exposures are common, but ORV poses no risk of rabies to humans or animals if exposed. Occasionally, skin reactions occur in humans, and it is best to avoid direct contact with the skin, eyes, or mucous membranes with the vaccine. As they drop them out of helicopters, which in themselves create lots of wind, and when they drop on the ground, I'm sure that they probably break open whatever the packet is. ADPH said if exposure occurs, it is recommended to wash hands with warm water and soap. So if you're out in the park, you're out there on the street walking, whatever, okay, where's your instant sink with soap and water? If a packet is found, handle it with gloves and place it in an area where a raccoon may find it or dispose of it in the trash. So now you're responsible to put it out for the raccoons. So you're basically going to poison your wildlife, or you're just going to throw it away. So everything that they just paid for and all the effort and money to disperse this, you just throw it away. Okay, so also flying over here is Southwest Airlines. Here's Southwest. It's a Boeing 737. You've got FedEx. You have two FedExes. You've got United Airlines. There's United. You also have the United States Alabama Law Enforcement Agency flying over. Here's more Alabama Enforcement Agency. So here's a document I want to share with you real quickly. I'll leave the link. This says the petitioner supports its request with the following information. A4A, the petitioner, requests relief for a period of 2 years to enable its members and other Part 119, there's your 19 again, certificate holders conducting Part 121 operations to transport cargo on the main deck of transport category airplanes configured with a passenger cabin when no revenue passengers are carried, subject to specific conditions identified in its petition. So this petitioner requests that the relief apply to operations outside the United States because its members seek to operate internationally to bring critical supplies to the United States. That means they're going to bring them in. Additionally, the petitioner requests the FAA permit operators conducting operations under an exemption to transport deadheading crew members. So what this is asking is they are going to remove all the seats that would normally transport, that would typically transport passengers. So they'll take out the seats. So now they have the capacity to carry cargo, including critical medical cargo on the main deck of their airplanes when seats are removed. So now I don't know how long it's actually was going to last, but they were asking for a 2-year period. And hang on, let me just move this. A4A members are Alaska Airlines, Inc., American Airlines, Group Inc., Atlas Air Inc., Delta. Shoot, did I miss that? Reading all these. These are the airlines. Members are Alaska Airlines, American Airlines Group, Atlas Air Inc., Delta Airlines Inc., Federal Express, Hawaiian Airlines, JetBlue, Southwest Airlines, United Continental Holdings, United Parcel Service, Air Canada, and an associate member. So I'm going to read this again in case I missed this. So these petitioners basically came into a group and they're asking FAA to, because of COVID and all these important medicines that they have to bring in, they want to remove the seats because there's hardly any people traveling, is what they said. And they want to be able to carry other cargo, including medical cargo, on the main deck of their airplanes when seats are removed. The petitioner asserts that carrying cargo on the main deck will make efficient use of many now empty passenger aircraft. So they were asking for relief for 2 years period. I just was hoping I got that because I didn't know if I worked my camera right. Again, they're talking about declaration of a national emergency, using that as an excuse. Looks like the FAA may have only given them 1 year. I don't know. I didn't follow up on this. But this states, under the unprecedented circumstances associated with the COVID-19 public health emergency that they created, that they have zero proof for, the FAA finds that partially granting the requested exemption for 1 year is justified. The FAA agrees that this relief is in the public interest. Remember, it's all for you and your safety, because it supports the continuity of air transportation, which is essential, especially during this national emergency. Part 119 certificate holders conducting operations under Part 121 are a key part of the United States infrastructure that transports cargo, including food, medical supplies, mail, and other goods. As I do not get my mail at all. I don't get my mail delivered, or if I do, it's destroyed. So, and most of that is in the, their plants that I get that are always being destroyed. So this states the stability of the U.S. transportation infrastructure is particularly critical at this time because of the increased and immediate demand for medical supplies and other essential cargo prompted by the COVID-19 public health emergency. You mean prompted by all the governors or whoever, the president. As passenger carrying Part 121 flights may commonly carry belly cargo in the lower deck, the decline of passenger carrying flights because of COVID-19, and not because of the needlecraft, but because of COVID, right? Which they have yet to prove, diminishes available air freight capacity. So you can now take out the seats and load your plane, the belly of it, with whatever cargo they deem appropriate, which is also medicine. And who knows what they're doing? Who knows what they're doing? So holders with aircraft currently configured for passenger transportation to carry additional cargo instead, additional cargo. They also had something in here where it was very non-specific, like and other or something like that. So this seems like it is more the major airlines, but who knows, because I haven't found or really looked that deep to see if it includes military or helicopters. Who knows? But this is the document. I should have shown it first, sorry. United States of America, Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration, in the matter of petition, Airlines for America, for an exemption from 919. There's your 19 again, your 91, 19, and 121, but whatever, all these numbers of Title 14 Code of the Federal Regulations. Exemption number 18584, regulatory docket number FAA 2020. So basically want to get rid of the seats, get rid of the passenger seats so they can load their plane up with vital, important medicine or whatever supplies. So who knows? You remember all the spraying overhead also? This is just another thought. That's inside a plane. This is just an example. Looks like a bunch of kegs in an airplane with all the seats removed. This just shows underneath an airplane. Here's another look into it's not the fuselage, is it? Is it just the body of the airline? Here's the Air Force. Bygert Aviation. These are just pictures, random pictures. Now that could be out of a helicopter because the door's open. Anyhow, this is just an example of some things that you could do inside an airplane when you remove the seats. I don't know if that's embellished or not. I know that these aren't rabies vaccines, but this says here, inside a mega sprayer. So are all these pictures, what's it called? Like manipulated or messed with? Or are these real pictures? What do you think? So here on page 7, it even, when they're talking about crew members, where'd that go? Let me find it real quick. Hang on. Okay, let's see. Prior to serving on an airplane, such as basic indoctrination training, they have to go, all the crew members need to have indoctrination training. Do you know what that is, indoctrination? Indoctrination, the process of teaching a person or group to accept a set of beliefs uncritically. So again, down here, indoctrination, the process of repeating an idea or belief to someone until they accept it without criticism or question. So there's a FedEx right near Bankhead. Anyhow, just letting you know that there is a lot of air activity. Look at that, op, right near op. There's Delta. Yep, they're on the list, Delta. So also on page 2, down here at footnote, regarding expectations for recovery, the petitioner cites reports from analysts from Deutsche Bank, Bank of America, JP Morgan, Evercore ISI, Fitch Ratings, and Cohen, as well as MIT professor aeronautics John Hansman. Whatever, they're part of all this. So you just tell me, are we getting the whole story? I don't know, but this was issued in Des Moines, Washington on July 10th, 2020. Okay, so can you tell me what this is? What is that symbol? And why would that symbol be there? This is at the very end of this docket, the United States of America, Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration. This is at the very end for them requesting that they can take out all the seats and get rid of all their fire, whatever necessities, just so they can carry extra cargo. Because COVID is slowing down their business. So they have to do something besides carrying passengers. If any of you have followed me at all, if you see that symbol right there, it would maybe alert you a little bit, and I'll show you why. Now this one, besides being kind of positioned like a Baphomet head, is similar to what we're seeing here. So isn't that interesting how that logo, infinity loop, not 3 loops, Celtic unity vector image. Now I've talked about infinity because in the long run, when you really break it down, it means nanny state, but it also means infinity, like the number 8. But infinity, not 3 loops, Celtic unity vector image. So vector in mathematics, a quantity having direction as well as magnitude, sounds like a sine wave actually, especially as determining the position of one point in space relative to another. Biology, an organism, typically a biting insect or tick that transmits a pathogen or parasite from one animal or plant to another. So you got your biology, then aeronautics, direct an aircraft in flight to a desired point. You think they've been doing that? And just for fun, looking at paradise, because I covered the helicopters earlier and I don't know if I wanted to keep them because it was making the video too long, because these guys are just, it looks like they're just tourists. It looks like, but here you have this helicopter, look, 893 PA. It's a private owner, but look at this. It's like the Phoenix, and on the helicopter there is a sun. And on the helicopter, it says Grand Canyon. And look at behind it, all those electrical towers. So look at Grand Canyon, 666. It also has your 696. If anyone's followed me long enough, you'll see that the 69 is very significant. There's your 11, 6. You flip it upside down, turn it around. What's up is down, what's black is white. There's your 911. Here are a lot of words associated with 666. Citizen, Elon Musk, Grimes, Pfizer, which I've shown the whole burnt hair thing and the whole boring company, prophecy. Interesting. It's also is a Elon Musk plan. Again, the beast chip, the beast microchip ID. And I think that, honestly, I think that some of this stuff that they're dropping and spraying, I think, talk about zombie apocalypse. I think they're going to cause something like that that's going to really mess with people's brains. It just keeps getting better. Mind control agenda of CIA. I bet we all knew that was coming. Here we also have the Elon Musk here. He travels to the border amid the migrant surge. Is very, very pro-migrant. And so for some reason, because his name came up, the Elon Musk Grimes, I went to go look, and this is what I found. And of course, they have a little photo here, and they show him at the border with all the, this is in Texas. Anyhow, they show this. And he says he's extremely pro-immigrant. He believes that we need to greatly expand legal immigration system and that we should let anyone in the country who's hardworking and honest, so who can be a contributor. But then they show all these buses, and I'll get to my point. See here, they show this number 56, and I'll go back to it again just to show you. I've slowed it down a little bit. But here you go. See how they prominently display this? 56. Turns his back. You get the 56. And here's Alabama, and guess what? It's number 56. You think this isn't this is so, I don't know. It's just not by an accident, I don't think. James E. Wilburn, Acting Manager, Transport Standards Branch Policy Innovation Division, Aircraft Certification Service. So here's my area, San Diego County here, Department of Environmental Health, Vector Control Program, 5570 Overland Avenue, Mosquito Larvicide Aerial Application Fact Sheet for Vector Control program, even though we don't even have malaria cases. So this says, this is it CDC, San Diego County.gov, April 2020, malaria, it's serious, blah, blah, blah. It says malaria is not endemic to San Diego, but sometimes diagnosed among travelers, refugees, and immigrants coming from places where malaria occurs. You don't catch malaria from other people. So if it's not endemic to San Diego County or San Diego, why are they dropping pellets all over the place? So they show these pellets that they are literally going to drop all over the place in San Diego County. And then it also says, don't drink the water. But what if you have horses or animals that are drinking out of troughs or whatever? They're dropping these pellets randomly, even though malaria is not endemic to San Diego. That's our county of San Diego vector control. They call it San Diego FightTheBite.com. Even though you don't get the bites here, you get it from abroad, from south of the border. And regarding what's in this stuff, sounds really innocent at first. So that stuff that they have, it's a group of bacteria used as biological control agents for larvae stage of certain dipterans, I guess that's mosquitoes. And it says, while having almost no other effect on other organisms. So they can drop that without really bothering any other organisms, except the big problem is that's 2.8% of their little formula. And then you've got this trade secret stuff. Other ingredients not classified because you have no idea what it is, because it's a protected trade secret. So it's 97.2% of what's in this pellet that they're going to be dropping all over the place, that you're not supposed to put in aquatic because it harms aquatic animals. And this is by Valent Biosciences. It's called Vectobac, or GR biological larvicide granules. It says here most important symptoms are acute possible eye and skin irritation as they drop it out of helicopters. And this says delayed. Your delayed symptoms, it says no information on significant adverse effects because they haven't done any studies on it. So you have no idea what's in this stuff that they're dropping from helicopters in many counties, because they're protecting a trade secret. So it's their profits over your safety to control something that is not even endemic to San Diego. This is your epidemiology and immunization services branch in your Live Well San Diego, County of San Diego, Health and Human Services Agency. How come these people aren't being brought to the table? And here's your select reportable diseases in 2020 and prior years. And here's your malaria, 0. There's 1 person prior month. There's 5 people year to date. And there's, what's this, 2 in 2019 and 2 in your average. So total is 7. Doesn't mean they died, because you can just use chlorine dioxide. That gets rid of it. That gets rid of malaria. Here's a patent on photoconductive targets. Here's a patent on basically mind control. There's the method of operating a gaming system, and basically it can tell you what you're reacting to, what you're responding to when you just hold the like a gaming, like a gambling thing. What's it called? Oh, like a slot machine. They can read your biofields in your biofeedback when you play slot machines and video games. Here's just one example of Boeing, a patent 2021. Look, January 25th, 2021, assigned to the Boeing company. talks about aircraft aerosol dispensing method, apparatus, and system. Talks about aerosols. I'll leave the link. Yeah, right, skywriting. Because Boeing has such an interest in skywriting and writing us little messages. This is sideways because I don't want to mess up my camera, but it does show images, and I'll send this link to you. So this says dropping or releasing powdered, liquid, or gaseous matter, e.g., like for an example, just firefighting or skywriting. Okay, so one brief summary. A method, apparatus, and system are provided for generating from an aircraft indicia, I don't know how you say it, sorry, indicia in the sky. Okay? And it also says, and more particularly for generating, sorry, I just drank or ate something cold, so my tongue's kind of frozen. Generating indicia, whatever, in the sky using a single pass of the aircraft. Embodiments provided herein include the system for communicating a message from an aircraft, including a plurality of valves, a tank and fluid communication with each of the plurality of valves, plurality of nozzles, whatever. They just keep going. So this is talking about indicia, and it says they're markings on a mail piece showing that postage has been prepaid by the sender. Indicia is a plural of the Latin word indicium, meaning distinguishing marks designed or to identify, let's see, signs, indications, or distinguishing marks. Markings used on address labels as bulk mail. And guess what else? Okay, I've been doing some follow-up with the USPS, United States Postal Service, because they said that they delivered a package on the 25th, and they did not. They said that that the mailman left with individual, which isn't true, because nothing in my cameras show that, and I don't have that was for a black walnut. But the reason why I'm telling you this is because I tried to follow up on this, and I was told by the person who was nice, he told me to contact the Inspector General. Okay, so that's who I need to contact to pursue this along and get resolution to this. So just real quickly, going to the Office of Inspector General here in Wikipedia, Office of Inspector General, and it says in the United States, Office of Inspector General, OIG, is a generic term for the oversight division of a federal or state agency aimed at preventing inefficient or unlawful operations within their parent agency. And down here, the history in the United States, other than in the military departments, the first Office of Inspector General was established by Act of Congress in 1976 under the Department of Health and Human Services. So here, just looking at archive.gov, you can go see Office of Inspector General, Department of Defense. Here's their 2017 Strategic Plan, Defense Technical Information Center. So the Health and Human Services, you know who they are, right? That's these guys, Department of Health and Human Services, the ones that look like a little kid going into a bigger person and morphs into, looks to me like a crow with claws. There's your 3 E's. So now I'm also understanding why the Health and Human Services, or I guess I should say why the post office was so cooperative in sending out the test kits, the COVID test kits through the mail. Yes, so the USPS were sending out for free, those rapid home tests for free that have all kinds of weird stuff in them that gets really close to your brain when you shove that thing up in your blood-brain barrier. But this is also interesting because it says expiration dates have been extended. Tests may show expired dates on the box, but FDA has extended those dates. So keep shoving that crap into your brain. Keep testing something that they've never proven exists. So there goes Southwest Airlines. So I'm just saying that all the spraying, the U.S. Postal Service, the HHS, DARPA, here's your airlines. Now here's their Council of Inspectors General on Integrity and Efficiency 5-year strategic plan. So 2023, 2027, gotta love the star. Notice the reflection. Does that look familiar? That's Operation Warp Speed. And that's Operation Warp Speed's anagram. We rep a poisoned trap. Do you think? Because remember, their whole job was to disperse the needlecraft. And there's your glass reflection, like the mirror. And look, mirror, there's your 91. They love the 91. Flip it around, it's 19. Guess what else is 91? That's right. And there's Tedros. So isn't that funny? Because right when I was mentioning 91 and looking at the word mirror, when I mentioned Tedros, when I mentioned him, the camera turned off. And remember when I was showing you that Boeing patent and the skywriting? Here's sky. Remember their lovely little diagram here for this patent? Sky also happens just to be 3, 3, 0, and 55. When you just look at simple gematria, the SK in sky is 19 and 11. It's almost like a 9/11. And there's your 25, which is also Mecca and FEMA. So here's sky. Buckle up. There's their, and look, buckle up is 91, but they're both 500 there. It's also dark day. And rituals, which I'm sure a lot of those little designs that we've all seen in those skies the last handful of years especially, I wonder if those aren't rituals. Give me a break. They are rituals. And this is weird. Fall's prophet. We're in fall right now. There's your 888. Wow, fall's prophet. So isn't that weird? I just wonder why they picked that word sky. So I'm going to wrap this up real quick, but I wanted to show you just a couple more thoughts. So when the Inspector General is talking about their integrity and efficiency and all that stuff, their strategic plans, which my cursor's blocking. So they say over the past 5 years, CIGIE has achieved positive results while pursuing our goals. So they're talking about their strategic goals, their strategic plans, promoting high quality oversight across entire federal government. They'll focus on advancing the IG's community's collective interest through effective and consistent communications with our stakeholders, including by highlighting the need for legislation and executive action to promote and enhance IG independence. So they keep talking about they're going to focus on their making a strong position to serve the IG community as we face future challenges. Not once do you see them talking about the public or people. Not once. It's all about them. And I've seen this a lot in documents. They always talk about their specific group. I see this in the military and everything. I don't see them talk about the people. Anyhow, here's Allison C. Lerner, which that doesn't even look like a word learner in there. Anyhow, and then Mark Greenblatt. But just remember this, when your Department of Agriculture there, Alabama Department of Public Health, you know, when they start dropping rabies vaccine packets in your yard, just remind them that there hasn't even been a positive rabies anything since 1996. So why do they keep poisoning stuff? And what's in those vaccines? I just wrote to them to ask them specifically. I asked them to please show me your controlled studies. I want to see your methods and materials, and I want to see the proof that there is a virus called rabies that well, or a virus or something, a pathogen that has been isolated that actually causes, it can cause rabies. So, and I want to see control. Did I already say that? So let's see what they say. I'll see how they respond. But I think it's crazy to allow our government to be just dispersing medication or whatever just so blatantly across the land, just randomly like this. And look at this is, where is this? This isn't in, we're out of Alabama now. So this is in Utah. Southern University, Utah is who's flying these helicopters. It's funny, they're flying a Raven too. And the universities are also a big, I don't know, industry for all their experiments and testing and stuff, just to let you know. Isn't that funny how they're near the sacred circle? How convenient. And this just happens to be in Nevada. Like they're doing something. So the MH means Maverick. It's Maverick helicopters. See all these? They're all working together. Maverick helicopters. I wonder what they're doing. And they're coming out of paradise. Isn't that interesting? Paradise. Harry Reid. So here's Harry Reid, Paradise, and we have a bunch of, that's not them, let's see, where did they go? Here they are, a whole fleet of them, of helicopters, Maverick helicopters. And here are all their flights. Look at all the flights just today. And if you've looked at any of my older, or just even recent things about flights, look how they're not giving the data. Look how all the data is missing. So, interesting how they just don't show. So like for instance here, supposedly their flight is 10 minutes. They took off at 3:29 and they landed at 8:39 a.m. and they say that that's only a 10-minute flight along the Grand Canyon. Don't think so. It doesn't add up. And that's the Maverick helicopters. There's 5 of them. I wonder what's going to happen when they get over the Colorado River. It's almost like they're playing Indian relays. Anyhow, let's go see what his activity is. There's the altitude. It's going really low. Let's look at his altitude. Coming up on that guy who's just hovering over the water. Yeah, I wonder what they're doing over the Colorado River. So they're in Arizona. Just hovering there. And look how his buddy coming from behind is slowing down too. Just hovering over the water. Colorado River is a pretty big water source for people. So that first guy looks like he's just parked out there too. Just hanging out. Again, the Maverick helicopters. And now here comes their buddies heading towards the Colorado River. Let's see what he's doing. Yeah, I wonder, you know, what are they doing? So they cross state lines there. Here comes the other one. So what do you guys think that they're doing over the Colorado River? So Maverick helicopters, maybe they're just looking. It just says, experience breathtaking flight over the most beautiful scenery in the western United States, over the Grand Canyon. Okay, so maybe this is just their little, I don't know. It just seems weird that there's 5 of them. Interesting, they're in Maui too. Okay, so maybe they're just tours. It's just kind of weird that they would all kind of fly together. Okay, anyhow, and so you look at this flight, how they were over the Colorado River. And again, their transponder thing, their GPS is also kind of blanking out and starting over there. Isn't that sort of strange? I've noticed that before. Okay. So that's Harry Reid, though, that they all came out of in Paradise. So U.S. Senator in Nevada. And isn't that funny? Because Feinstein, she just died recently, too, just days ago. At least they told us just days ago, but he died in 2021, December. And that says the airport, Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Okay, guys, talk to you later. Thanks for hanging. But don't eat the stuff that you see on your yard. Just don't eat it, okay? Those oral vaccines probably aren't going to do you any good.